Imagine looking up at the night sky and realizing that one of the most powerful objects in our galaxy has turned its attention toward our planet. Deep within the Milky Way, there are stars so enormous, so violent, and so unpredictable that they challenge everything we know about the universe. Among them are cosmic giants capable of releasing energy beyond human imagination, creating explosions that can shape entire regions of space. For billions of years, Earth has existed in a delicate balance. The sun provides warmth, light, and energy that make life possible. But beyond our familiar star lies a universe filled with forces far more extreme. Some stars are born with hundreds of times the mass of our sun, burning through their fuel at incredible speeds. Their lives are short compared to ordinary stars, but their endings can be some of the most powerful events in existence. When a massive star reaches the final stages of its life, it can collapse under its own gravity, creating a violent explosion known as a supernova. In some cases, these explosions can release more energy in seconds than our sun will produce over its entire lifetime. Even more terrifying are stars that produce narrow beams of radiation called gamma-ray bursts. If one of these beams were directed toward a nearby planet, the effects could be devastating. But what does it mean when we say a dangerous star is pointing at Earth? It does not mean that the star is moving toward us like a threat approaching through space. Instead, scientists are observing the direction of its energy, its rotation, and the path of radiation it may release. Space is enormous, and distances between stars are measured in unimaginable numbers. Many cosmic events that seem terrifying are actually happening so far away that Earth remains protected. However, these discoveries remind us of the incredible power hidden throughout the universe. The same cosmic forces that can destroy worlds can also create them. The elements. The discovery of a powerful and dangerous star in the Milky Way. Explore the existence of massive stars that possess unimaginable energy, and why some of them are considered among the most dangerous objects in our galaxy. In the vast darkness of the Milky Way galaxy, there are stars that exist on a scale so enormous that they almost feel impossible to imagine. These are not ordinary stars like our sun. They are cosmic giants, burning with incredible intensity, producing unimaginable amounts of energy, and living lives that are both brilliant and violent. Among these enormous stars are some of the most powerful objects in the universe, and their behavior can reveal the extreme forces that shape galaxies. When scientists discover a star that appears unusually powerful or dangerous, it captures attention because these objects represent nature at its most extreme. A massive star can contain many times more material than the sun, creating immense pressure and temperatures deep within its core. This incredible environment allows the star to produce energy at a rate far beyond normal stars. However, this power comes with a cost. The more massive a star is, the faster it consumes its fuel, meaning that its life can be dramatically shorter than smaller, more stable stars. The danger of these stars comes from their unpredictable endings. A giant star spends millions of years creating heavier elements inside its core, but eventually, it reaches a point where it can no longer support itself. Gravity begins to overpower the forces keeping the star stable, causing a collapse that can trigger one of the most powerful explosions known in the universe, a supernova. During this event, the star releases an incredible amount of energy, sending shock waves and newly formed elements across space. These cosmic giants are not dangerous because they are chasing Earth or moving toward our planet. Instead, their danger comes from the extraordinary forces they can produce. Some massive stars. However, the universe is much larger than our imagination often allows us to understand. Even the most powerful stars are separated from Earth by enormous distances. A star that appears threatening because of its energy and behavior may still be safely located thousands or millions of light years away. Space itself provides a vast shield, reducing the impact of many cosmic events before they can reach us. The study of these dangerous stars helps scientists understand more than just possible threats. These stars are also responsible for creating many of the elements that make up the universe. The carbon in our bodies, the oxygen we breathe, and many of the materials found on Earth were created through the life cycles of ancient stars. When massive stars end their lives, they spread these elements throughout space, allowing future generations of stars, planets, and possibly life to form. The discovery of powerful stars reminds humanity that Earth exists in a dynamic and constantly changing universe. Our planet is a small world orbiting an ordinary star in one corner of a massive galaxy. Yet, by studying the most extreme objects in space, we gain a deeper understanding of where we came from and what forces have shaped our cosmic neighborhood. Every dangerous star carries a story. It tells us about birth, transformation, destruction, and renewal. These stars may appear frightening because of their immense power, but they're also essential parts of the universe's natural cycle. They create, they destroy, and they help build the foundations of new worlds. As we continue exploring the Milky Way, each discovery reveals that the universe is far more extraordinary than we ever imagined. The stars that seem like threats are actually teachers, showing us the strength of cosmic forces and reminding us that our existence is connected to the grand story of the cosmos. The most dangerous stars are not simply symbols of destruction. They are powerful reminders of the incredible. What it really means when a star is pointing at Earth. Clarify the science behind a star's direction, rotation, and radiation beams, and explain why this does not mean the star is physically moving toward Earth. When we hear that a powerful star is pointing toward Earth, it can create an image of a cosmic danger moving directly toward our planet. However, the reality is much more fascinating and scientifically complex. In space, direction matters greatly, especially when dealing with objects that release powerful forms of energy. A star pointing toward Earth does not mean the star is traveling closer to us or preparing to attack our planet. Instead, it refers to the direction in which certain types of radiation or energy may be released. Some of the most massive stars in the universe rotate at incredible speeds. Their intense rotation can create powerful magnetic fields and channels through which energy escapes. In rare cases, these channels can produce focused beams of radiation that travel across space. Scientists carefully study the orientation of these beams because their effects can vary greatly depending on where they are aimed. One of the most extreme examples of this phenomenon is a gamma-ray burst. These events can create narrow jets of high-energy radiation that move through the universe at the speed of light. If one of these beams were directed toward a nearby planet, the consequences could be significant. The radiation could interact with a planet's atmosphere and potentially cause major changes. However, the chances of such an event affecting Earth are extremely low because the universe is incredibly vast and the distances between stars are enormous. Scientists use advanced telescopes and instruments to observe these distant stars. They study their brightness, movement, temperature, and radiation patterns to understand how these cosmic giants behave. Every observation helps researchers build a clearer picture of the life cycle of massive stars. And the phrase pointing at Earth also reminds us of how important perspective is when exploring space. A star that seems dangerous from a distance may actually be completely harmless because of its location and distance from our planet. The universe contains countless powerful forces, but Earth has existed safely for billions of years within this vast cosmic environment. Understanding these stars allows us to replace fear with knowledge. Instead of viewing the universe as a place filled only with dangers, we can see it as a place of incredible processes that have shaped everything around us. The radiation from distant stars, the explosions of ancient suns, and the movement of galaxies all tell the story of how the cosmos continues to evolve. The more we study these extraordinary stars, the more we realize that Earth is part of a much larger cosmic system. These powerful objects may hold unimaginable energy, but they also hold the secrets of creation, transformation, and the origins of the elements that make life possible. The incredible power and life cycle of giant stars. Describe how massive stars are born, consume their fuel rapidly, and eventually transform into some of the universe's most dramatic events. Massive stars are among the most fascinating objects in the universe because they represent the incredible power and complexity of cosmic evolution. Unlike smaller stars that can exist for billions of years, giant stars live fast and burn through their energy at an extraordinary rate. Their enormous size and intense internal pressure create environments where some of the universe's most important processes take place. A massive star begins its life inside a cloud of gas and dust known as a nebula. Over time, gravity pulls this material together, increasing the temperature and pressure at the center until nuclear fusion begins. This process creates the energy that allows the star to shine. However, because these stars contain so much material, they consume there. Inside the core of a giant star, nuclear reactions create heavier elements from lighter ones. Hydrogen transforms into helium, and eventually, the star begins producing elements such as carbon, oxygen, and other materials essential for the universe. This process continues until the core becomes filled with elements that can no longer provide enough energy to support the star against gravity. When this happens, the star reaches a critical moment. The powerful force of gravity causes the core to collapse, creating an intense explosion that can spread material across enormous regions of space. This event marks the end of the star's life, but it also represents a new beginning. The elements released by the explosion become part of future stars, planets, and possibly living worlds. The life cycle of massive stars shows that destruction and creation are deeply connected in the universe. The same explosion that destroys a star can provide the ingredients needed for new cosmic structures. Without these ancient stellar events, planets like Earth would not have the necessary elements required for life. Studying these giant stars also helps scientists understand how galaxies change over time. Massive stars influence their surroundings by releasing energy, creating new materials, and shaping the environments where other stars are born. Their powerful winds and explosions can transform entire regions of space. Although these stars can appear terrifying because of their immense energy, they are a natural and essential part of the universe. They remind us that space is not static, but constantly evolving. Every star has a story, from its birth inside a cloud of gas to its final moments as a spectacular cosmic event. The existence of these powerful stars reveals the incredible balance of the universe. Their energy, their transformation, and even their destruction all contribute to the ongoing cycle of creation. By studying them, we gain a deeper understanding of not only how dangerous stars help create the universe around us, reveal how the destruction of giant stars spreads important elements across space, creating the materials needed for planets, oceans, and life itself. The most powerful and dangerous stars in our galaxy may seem like symbols of destruction, but their true role in the universe is far more meaningful. These enormous stars are not simply cosmic threats. They're essential creators that have helped shape the universe we know today. Their incredible life cycles reveal a story of transformation, where even the most violent endings can lead to new beginnings. Throughout their lives, massive stars act as natural factories, creating many of the elements that exist throughout the cosmos. Deep inside their extremely hot cores, these stars produce elements that are essential for the formation of planets and life. Carbon, oxygen, iron, and many other materials are created through the powerful reactions taking place within these stellar giants. Without these processes, the universe would lack many of the ingredients needed for complex worlds. When these stars eventually reach the end of their lives, they release these elements back into space through powerful explosions. The material thrown outward travels across galaxies, mixing with clouds of gas and dust. Over millions of years, these clouds can collapse and form new stars, planets, and other cosmic structures. In this way, the death of one star becomes the beginning of something entirely new. The story of these stars shows that the universe operates through a continuous cycle. Nothing truly disappears. Instead, matter changes form and becomes part of new creations. The atoms that make up planets, oceans, and living beings were once part of ancient stars that existed long before Earth was formed. In a very real sense, life itself is connected to the history of the stars. Powerful stars also influence the environment around them. Their energy can shape entire regions of